What's up, folks? I wanted to react to the Oliver Anthony Joe Rogan podcast that just came out and really weigh in on something that I haven't yet, his meteoric rise to fame, whether I like the song or not, whether I get authentic vibes or plant vibes as some people are accusing him of, and also just some music industry talk about what I think he could do when it comes to a major label or not signing to a major label. This is all my opinion. I don't care if you disagree, but I'm going to tell you how I feel about him. Spoiler alert, I like him. God bless you guys. Dream Rare Podcast starts now.
It's the Dream Rare Podcast. Welcome to the show. The way to get the news at the desk or on the road. Let's go. God is great and success in our control. The world is crazy, but we get back.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's episode of the Dream Rare Podcast. And I'm going to just hide the chat today and not look at the comments because I really just want to flow freely and tell you what I think about the whole situation with Oliver Anthony, who's one of the most viral music stars we've ever seen on the internet with his song Rich Men North of Richmond, which went viral a couple of weeks ago. It's got tens of millions of streams, probably hundreds of millions, if not billions of streams. He's the number one song on the Billboard charts. And a lot of people have a lot of opinions about it. The song, whether they think he's legit, authentic, or a plant. His politics, some people think he's too far left or he's saying things he's unappreciative. So I'm going to get through all that stuff and then do a reaction to the Joe Rogan podcast. But I want to just start from the basics of the actual song and kind of work my way forward. And I have to say this right now. I don't care if you agree or disagree. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I don't get offended of other people's opinion about him. This is my true opinion. So let's just first start with the song. I saw everybody sharing it on Twitter, and I just kept seeing it like 10, 15 times in my feed. And eventually I listened to it. Somebody in my family sent it to me, and I was like, okay, this song is like legit huge. Let me see what's going on. And the first time I heard it, it's called Rich Men North of Richmond. You probably heard it at this point. I thought it was a great song. I really did. I thought it was powerful. It gave me the chills. It's one of those songs that just kind of hits you in the gut. He's got a great voice. The lyrics are good. They're very witty. I'm a lyricist. I love poetry and lyrics. I felt like, New World, Old Soul, a lot of the stuff he was saying, it's very relevant. It's very political without being political. And I feel like it's a working class anthem, an American anthem for people that are just, they feel sad about the situation that's going on. I thought it was a great song. I still think it's a great song. I see why it went so viral, and whether people like them or not, I don't think it's that easy to make a song that viral. There's a lot of major labels. There's a lot of people. There's millionaires. There's billionaires. There's people spending $100,000 on marketing. There's certain things that just click with people, and that just clicked. I don't think you could buy your way into that. A lot of people have tried. A lot of people will still try. I just think it felt very powerful. That's my opinion. It hit hard, and it just reached a point. One thing that I'm seeing is I'm going to go through all of this stuff, but once again, I don't care if you agree or disagree. Some people are saying that it's a negative song. And as far as music at this point in my life, I try to listen to music that I relate to. I don't relate to like Eminem like I used to when I was a kid. I don't relate to degenerate rap music like I used to as much. I don't relate to like sad, soulful music like Kid Cudi that I used to, but there's always going to be a place in music for soul music, because not all music is made from a good place. Not all music is made when you're happy. Not all music is made when you're doing well. A lot of the best music is like down and out, and you're, struggling, and that's kind of your way of venting to the world. So I don't see anything unusual about that, and I think it's pretty powerful. That's my perspective. And then, overall, I just think it's a really good song. I see why it went viral. I get why everyone has an opinion about it. I don't think everybody needs to like it. Some things are subjective. Music is taste. Some people like heavy metal. Some people like country. Some people like rap. Some people like Kendrick Lamar. I think it's a great song. I thought it was powerful. I still think it's powerful. And I see a lot of people saying a lot of stuff, and that's fine. I don't care. I'm not offended by other people's opinion if they disagree, but as somebody who does music and has seen a lot of stuff, I don't think it's that easy to engineer a soul song like that. If it were, a lot more people would be doing it, and you'd see viral successes like that. Now I want to move, and I want to talk about the Rogan podcast, whether I think he's a plant or not, or what his politics are, if he's ungrateful. I'll get into that later, but I kind of just want to work at the pace I'm going at, if you don't mind. I want to talk about the music industry side of it, because that song is number one on the Billboard chart. Last time I checked, it had 30 million streams on Spotify. It's probably got millions or tens of millions on YouTube or Facebook. I hope he was able to capitalize off that. I listened to the Rogan podcast. He said some of his songs, he just took the audio off of his Android and put it onto DistroKid because he wanted to get it out there. So long story short, I think that the ball is in this guy's court. I read his Facebook post where he said that he was offered multi-million dollar contracts, and somebody that has done it independently, who's never had a song that big, I could see it going both ways for him. So I hope he figures it out and is able to capitalize, because on one hand, I think he's going to make upwards of $1 million on his own. I guarantee you there's sponsors throwing at him. And if this guy gets his business right, I think he can figure out how to capitalize on this and make generational wealth. With that being said, on Rogan's podcast, they were talking about, Rogan was saying, F these major labels, you don't need them. There's no time frame. A lot of people seem like they're rushing Oliver Anthony, saying you got to capitalize on it now. And I see it both ways. You never know what type of musician this guy is, if he could just keep churning out songs that people like, or if it's a gimmicky sort of thing where like he tries to do the same thing over and over, people don't like it, or he's able to evolve. So I see it both ways. On one hand, I don't think he needs a major label, but I do think he needs some sort of team together, because if he wants to do shows, he could probably make $1 million this year just touring. But if he doesn't have a booking agent and he's just trying to do it all himself, or he's only got one person that doesn't know what they're doing, he will miss out on this opportunity. I think about, and I'm not saying this is him, I hope he has a long and lengthy career, but I think about Tiger King. And Tiger King was this massive viral success. It was probably the biggest documentary in modern history, and it happened during the pandemic. And a lot of the people in the show, they were not able to capitalize on that because the pandemic was shut down. A year and a half later, they're trying to tour, make the money. Obviously not Joe Exotic because he's in prison, but some of the other castmates have been trying to capitalize off of Tiger King, but people just don't care as much as they used to. So they're not able to make money. They missed their viral moment. They probably could have made a lot of money that year, but they couldn't because the lockdown happened. So it's a pretty tragic story, I think, for a lot of the cast members there. So I do think that there is a timing to this. Like if he sits around and doesn't capitalize off it, he could maybe make a hit in a year. I think he's talented enough. I hope he does. But, it's not the same as right now. There's never going to be a hot moment like now for him. So if he doesn't sign to a major label, which I think he could easily do, he needs to, in my view, this is just my opinion, get a team together that he can capitalize off it on his own and not have to use those. People like Post Malone. I don't know if you guys have heard of Post Malone. He's a very famous pop musician. He made a song called White Iverson, right? And White Iverson was huge. It was everywhere. Kylie Jenner was playing it at her birthday party. And he had a fork in the road. He could either sign to a major label or he could do it independently and make millions of dollars himself. He signed to a major label. And Post Malone, the rest is history. He's a massive superstar now. He's probably made tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't know what his net worth is. Don't care. I'm just saying he chose the major label route and he made it work. Why do that? They can provide features, resources, just make it a lot easier for you. They have built-in tours, all of that infrastructure of how to get this stuff done. They can do it seamlessly. And when you have leverage on your side, you could get a bigger deal. Like if you're trying to sign to a major label and nobody really cares about you and they offer you a deal, it's probably going to be crappy. They're probably going to own most of your stuff. They're probably not going to give you much. They might not push you. They might shelve you like they do a lot of artists. But when you're Post Malone with White Iverson, you get the record labels competing against each other. So I'm guessing he got a good deal that's better than a lot of artists. And when it comes to Oliver Anthony, the ball's in his court. If he sat with 5 different major labels, he could really play hardball. He could say, I don't need to sign this deal. I don't want to sign this deal. Sony, all these people are offering me contracts. So you better up the ante. You better give me like 90% of my stuff. You better let me keep all my touring and, maybe let me keep 100% of the music I've already made. And then any music we make in the future, you can own a percentage of. He could really do whatever he wants. I think the ball's in his court. So if he goes independent, I wish him success. I think he can. I think he sounds like he wants to, if I'm reading it right. And if he does go independent, he can make a lot of money, but it is a timing thing. I do think that you do want to capitalize and strike while the iron's hot, get touring in if that's what he wants to do, and not just let time go by and not capitalize off it. That's just my business opinion. When it comes to a major label, if he does want to sign to somebody, I would say just sign a deal where you get all the leverage. You get all the stuff. You get to keep all your old stuff. There's a time limit to it where you can get out of it. And, maybe they can produce some stuff for you, but maybe you don't even need it. Maybe what's the point of even having them do stuff if you could just sing in the woods and people like it? So either way, that's just my business opinion of it. I wish him well. I think that he could go independent. I think that he could sign to whoever he wants and get a crazy good deal that no one else could. But whichever way he goes, I think that no rush, but definitely try to crush it now. You never know what the future holds. And I think that it would be great for him to get some generational wealth out of, if everyone's going to have eyes on you, might as well keep authentic and not sell out or anything, but definitely try to, make it work while all the eyes are on you. That's just my opinion. When it comes to the Joe Rogan podcast, I just listened to the whole thing this morning. To me, he comes off authentic. I know a lot of people don't like him. I saw this video of him go viral where he said all these Republicans are on stage using my song, but I'm actually talking about them. I'm not talking about Joe Biden. And to me, I read it a different way. I mean, maybe he is super left wing. Maybe he's a Democrat. Maybe in 3 years, and I'm not to the people that are probably in the comments like freaking out, like, oh, I hate him. I think he's this and that. Have your opinion. If he's on stage with Lady Gaga for the 2024 election saying Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton are awesome, I stand corrected. Then he probably was a plant or he's just like a Democrat. I don't know. But the way I've read what he said, not everybody cares that much about politics. Maybe he does. Maybe he really does have certain beliefs, but I feel like everybody thinks everyone cares so much, but most people in America, I don't think they follow it that well. And I don't know. I didn't read it like, oh, he loves the Democrats. I read it as like, I don't like Republicans, and they're trying to make my song into what they want it to be. They want, they're trying to make him like he's a Ben Shapiro or he's a Trump supporter. Everyone wants this guy to be what they want him to be. To me, I don't even care if he's a socialist. If he's a socialist, I'm not voting for Oliver Anthony or whatever his real name is, Oliver Anthony Music. He's not my political leader. He's not a priest. He doesn't owe me anything. I don't owe him anything. I guess I don't care that much because I'm not looking up to him like he's going to lead the revolution of America or anything. He's a guy who made a song that I think is good. And if he was left wing, then he's left wing. He made that song. I don't have to like him or I don't have to follow him down a path. But I think everybody wants this guy to be who they want him to be. So I could see the backlash where people are saying conservative media made you famous, which is mostly true. I see the backlash of people like, how dare you? But I don't know. It's like, if this kid isn't that, then he's not that. You can't mold everyone into who you want him to be. And at a certain point, if his politics are so bad and his attitude is so bad, like, for example, Howard Stern. I used to love Howard Stern, but now I think he's a piece of garbage. I've made the decision as an adult that his political views and his attitude is so piss poor that I don't even want to listen to him. There's a lot of musicians like that. I take them off my playlist. It's like they're like, if you don't get a vaccine, you can't come to my show. You're a fascist, blah, blah, blah. I've made the decision as an adult. I like their music, but they're such garbage people. I don't feel like supporting them anymore. And everybody has the right to feel that way about Oliver Anthony. Maybe they like him, maybe they don't. Me personally, I haven't yet heard anything he said that's really bothered me. I don't really like Republicans that much either. I'm not saying like Republican people are cool, but the Republican politicians, I can't stand them. I think that whole debate stage is filled with clowns, and even the best clown is still a clown. So I don't know. It's not like I want this guy. I'm glad Oliver Anthony is not Ben Shapiro. I'm glad Oliver Anthony is not, Steven Crowder. We don't need another one of those people. With that being said, a lot of conservative media and a lot of cultural media is reaction. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'm reacting right now. I also make music. I also try to, create narratives, but right now I'm reacting, and I'm not pretending I'm not. But this guy made everyone react around him. And I think he kind of broke the matrix temporarily, where everybody's talking. He puts out a piece of art, and then everybody starts reacting to it. If you like his song, you're reacting to Oliver Anthony. If you hate his song, you're reacting to Oliver Anthony. If you think he's an industry plant, you're reacting to him. If you think he's authentic, you're reacting to him. If you think he's too socialist, you're reacting to him. If you think he's, just right, so the point that I'm making is, whether people like him or not, he did break the media matrix, and he created a piece of art and a piece of content that everybody reacted to, instead of him reacting to stuff. And I think there's something special and inspiring about that. Even if you don't like the song, even if you don't like his politics, the fact that somebody could put that out there and it could blow up, as somebody that had a video last week not go nearly as viral as this guy, but I had my video of Vivek get like 10 million views. And this is a video I didn't spend much time on. I'm taking a break. I'm not really into it, or I'm trying to like recalibrate so I have the energy to really crush this next year. And I make my biggest piece of content of the year without even trying to do it. I know it's possible. I've done it a bunch of times. I've gotten 20 million views, 30 million views. I've never been as viral as Oliver Anthony, but I know from somebody that doesn't have an industry or anything behind me, if you make something good enough, people will share it. If you make something authentic enough, people will share it. And I want to say to any content creator, any artist, anybody, at the end of the day, a lot of people say, well, I think my thing is better. Why doesn't it do this? And why doesn't it do that? But persistency matters. You can't feel bad for yourself. You can't say, well, my song's better, but it's not getting as much push. Well, there's a reason for everything. So I think if you can move forward and, every piece of content is not going to be a hit. I know some people that think that every video of theirs is going to be exactly the same. And if it doesn't, they say they're getting shadow banned. Shadow bans exist. It's happening. I believe it's happening on my YouTube channel. But if I put out 10 videos, they're not going to get the same amount of views. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm being shadow banned on Facebook. It means some of my content is a smash and some of it's not. It's like putting out an album of 15 songs and saying, oh, every song didn't go number one on the charts. Only one did. Well, yeah, that's the hit. That's how it works. That's what people perceive that they want to hear. So I think that, if people want their music or their art or their content to be that big, maybe you don't, and that's fine. But if you do, I think it is inspiring what he was able to do. A lot of people are trying to do it and they can't do it because it just didn't connect that way. So as a musician myself, I was highly inspired by the song. I said, wow, that makes me want to do a powerful song, a deeper song. Sometimes you get off beat and it's like, oh, this is you try too much. And it's like, man, if it's good enough, if it hits hard enough, there is a lane for it. So I think that's pretty cool. When it comes to the Rogan podcast, the first hour of it, it felt like Joe wasn't letting him talk. And then the last hour of it, he started talking more about, he said he believed in the Bible and he came back to Christ. He talked about his trials and tribulations, which I thought were cool. But the first hour of it felt like, he would talk a little and then Joe would like disagree with him. So it was hard to really know what Oliver Anthony felt until he started opening up. And then Joe started, opening up a little bit. So first hour, I was like, he would start to talk and then Joe would be like, no, I disagree. And then like, he'd be like, he said, he thinks that porn is bad, Oliver Anthony. And he said that, he stopped watching porn and he thinks that porn is ruining marriages, which I think is true. He said that he thinks that porn is the reason for some of the perversion. He didn't necessarily talk about what they're doing in the schools and with the gender. And I'm not putting words in his mouth because I have no idea which perversions he was talking about because there's so many perversions in this world that it's hard to put a finger on it. But I thought that was true. I mean, as a Christian, he's out here on one of the biggest podcasts in the world saying porn isn't good. And Joe Rogan's trying to like reframe it kind of and be like, well, for some people it's bad, but I think it should be legal. And like, it's kind of like cut him off a little bit, which is fine, but it's his podcast. But I thought that was pretty authentic. Like, he's using his platform to say, no, I think porn is one of the reasons that there's so many weird perversions in this world because people's heads are just getting debased. And Oliver Anthony made the point saying that once you watch something, and you always need a bigger thrill, it's kind of like twisting and tangling your sexual mind, which I think is absolutely true. And even if you're like a porn watcher, there's something called self-awareness and self-accountability where I think self-awareness is so important in this world. It's like if you're watching a lot of porn, you have to admit that it's having some sort of psychological impact on you. You can't be like, oh, no, this is awesome. This is having nothing. It's like you could lie to yourself and say that, but every cause has a reaction. So if you're not watching anybody else having sex, then, it's going to be more stimulating for you when you're in that situation yourself. But if you're overstimulating your brain, it would be like drinking alcohol every morning. Eventually you're abusing it and it's not going to be the same. So I thought he brought up a lot of really good points on the podcast. I thought he did a great job. To me, he seems authentic. To me, it seems organic. And I know a lot of people don't think that, which is fine. We'll see. Time tells all. I get good vibes from him. I like him. I don't expect him to be me. I don't care if he's right wing or left wing. I'm not voting for him. Unless he's like telling all the kids to like wear dresses and change their gender at 2 years old, then it's like, all right, this guy's kind of a psychopath. But I haven't really heard anything like that. I don't really care. I don't really care what he thinks about politics. And I guess this is where I'm going to go from this point too, is if you're at like a family gathering and you have a family member that's like left wing and you love them, because they're your family, but you just don't agree with them, and you start talking about baseball or football or things that you agree with, there's something beautiful about that. I get it. Politics is important. The left wing has gone insane. The cities are getting crime filled. People should snap out of it. The kids are too far left. I agree on all this. I made a whole channel about it. However, we've gotten away from this idea of just liking people for who they are and disagreeing on a few things. It's like, this guy is not my spiritual guide. So if he believes in Bernie Sanders soon, I'm sure he'll snap out of it eventually. And I don't know that he does. I'm just saying in general, it's kind of hard to get a read on him, to be honest. Like, it seems like he's all over the place, which is fine. I don't know. That's just I don't view politics the same way everyone else does anymore, where it's like, oh, the right is so great and the left is so bad. I honestly don't think the Republican Party is that good anymore. I think most influencers are just self-serving. When I used to make content that would really go viral, I was trying to help the country. Yeah, of course, I'm trying to help myself too at the same time. I'm not trying to hurt myself, but I'm really trying to be unselfish with it and be like, what is actually going to convince people and wake them up? A lot of people in the Republican Party, I know we don't want to address it because it's our side, but they have become grifters in the sense of they're only making content to just ramp up their side, to milk their side, to get their side. And the truth is, if you break out of the echo chamber of the Republican Party, they're not making that good of content anymore. And there are people on the left that are making convincing videos. I'll give you an example real quick, not to get off topic, but I saw this great video about Vivek Ramaswamy where it went into his Alzheimer's drug that failed that he bought. And it's the whole story that nobody in Republican media wants to cover, which I will in my interview on Tuesday if they don't back out cowardly. I hope they don't. But in general, it's like, I watched this whole video and I just assumed it was someone on the right wing because I don't think much of the left anymore. And I found out it was some left winger who made the video. And it's like, what an embarrassing party our party's become, because we have no self-awareness. We think we're so much better than the left. We don't want Oliver Anthony to disagree with us. We want him to be like us. And one of the best videos that really shows how Vivek made his fortune in the pharmaceutical industry, it came from a left winger. You know why? Because a bunch of these right wingers, they don't ask them real journalistic questions. They don't care. They have no curiosity. They have no integrity. It's just one big circle jerk. And they make it like they don't even do journalism anymore. So it's like, our heads are so far in our own echo chamber and the left are so far in their own echo chamber. We both don't realize that, we're both not that cool anymore. So personally, I think it's way cooler to make a song that people revolve around than just react to everything all the time. And now the Republican echo chamber is getting just as dumb and stupid as the left wing echo chamber. They just don't want to admit it. And the left wingers have gone insane, but they don't want to admit it. And there's something beautiful about someone who just doesn't like both sides. And I don't know that he's authentic. We'll find out. But it's like everyone's like, oh, I want you to be like me. I want you to be like me. And a lot of us are growing to be like, listen, I'm not a contrarian. I'm not saying this because I'm trying to be different. I genuinely don't know what you're doing on the left wing. You guys are disgusting and insane, and it's just getting like too weird. And then on the right, like, I'm not being contrarian. I just don't like what you're doing. I don't trust you guys. I think you guys are scammers, most of you. And I don't think you care about the country at all. I think it's like a cosplay fantasy role play that people are doing. I saw on my Twitter yesterday, someone had a mugshot of Fauci with a Fulton County thing, like it was like Photoshopped. And they're like, this is what it would be like if there was real justice in this country. And it fits right into what I've been saying for weeks is that's the Republican Party now. It's cosplay. It's like, since our president, Donald Trump, gave Fauci an award and worked with Fauci and hired a bunch of big pharma swampers above Fauci to let him run rampant, on Donald Trump's last day of office, he gave Fauci an award. So it's like, because reality doesn't match what we want, because our side's fake and Trump's a fake, we just have to fantasy cosplay that Fauci's in jail with an AI image and, oh, we're crushing the deep state. The Republican Party is embarrassing. I'd rather hang out with Oliver Anthony than most of these Republican influencers. I don't even care if he doesn't like the Republican Party, because why would you? It's a clown show. And people don't want to admit it because it's hard to admit your side sucks. That's why the left wing has gotten so stupid too. It's like they just want to hate Republicans, but it's like, what are you doing on the left wing? Your cities are becoming degenerate. You can't clean up homelessness. You guys think it's cool and liberal to wear masks everywhere. You're hiding your face. You guys think working out is right wing. It's like, somebody needs to get these liberals together and be like, hey, I know we have certain policies that are different than the right, but we're embarrassing. Like, liberals suck now. Liberals 10 years ago were kind of cool. They were making like good coffee and garlic aioli sauce and hipster hamburgers, and it was tight. New York was cool. Portland was cool. Austin was cool. No offense, these cities are falling apart, and liberals, like, someone needs to sit liberals down and be like, hey, I know what we thought we were going to do, but we're not doing it. So we can't just hate on Donald Trump all day because we're falling so far that we're actually crappier than a lot of conservative places. Like conservatives are more liberal than liberals, and liberals are like authoritarian, mask wearing, big pharma dummies who walk around covering their face thinking they're beating the deep state or Trump or something. I don't even know what they're doing. So it's like they don't have self-awareness. They don't have self-accountability. You get to the right, it's the same thing. It's like, oh, we're fighting the left, we're beating the left, and it's like, dude, it's a joke. Like, yeah, you're better than them, barely, sort of, but not really, because at a certain point, if you're not doing anything, if you won't do real journalism, if you circle jerk pharma CEOs and don't ask them real questions, you're almost not better than the left. Because even though your policy is, and I'd vote for you, you're kind of like controlled opposition, where you're not allowing someone real to come through, and you're providing cover for the people that are running our party into the ground, or basically giving us status quo vaccine socialism. So, long story short, we'll see who this guy is. I don't know who he is. I don't know if he's authentic, but I just don't care if he's not who I want him to be, because I never wanted him to be anybody. He made the song. It's not my song. If I made the song, I get to decide who I am. If he made the song, he gets to decide who he is. It's like, if you want to make a song that blows up, good luck. It's hard to do. Not everyone can do it, but then you can choose your path. But everyone's trying to make this guy who they want him to be. And I just don't, from listening to him, I don't think he's any of those things. And I'm totally cool with it. Let me know in the comment section. I'm going to read a few before I head out. And, if, like I said, if he's on stage with Hillary Clinton, Anthony Fauci telling everyone to get 15 vaccines, then I'll be like, you know what? That guy is a phony. It sucks that he used his platform for that. But I personally, I haven't seen it. And I think that the lesson, whether it's purposeful or not, that we could learn from this is, like being like a trumped out person is not that cool anymore. It's not. Like, I saw somebody I follow that used to be like smart. She's like, everyone's a globalist but Trump. And then someone's like, in Trump we trust. And she's like, yeah, in Trump we trust. It's like, you are a cult now. You're weird as hell. You know what I'm saying? In Trump we trust. In Trump we trust. It's like, it's creepy. I'd rather hang out at church with people that are liberal or conservative than hang out with you guys. I'd rather hang out with all of, like, it's weird. The left is getting weird, and nobody can like deprogram themselves from like their world. And it's getting so strange. So it's like, I hope that more and more people snap out of it. And it's like, being Republican is not actually that cool. The debate stage is like embarrassing. I think these people are total clowns. And honestly, Donald Trump's the ringleader of the circus. He's cooler than them, but I mean, I don't think he's that cool anymore. I don't know. And the left is nuts. So let me know what you guys think. I personally don't think he's a plant, but once again, we'll see. Someone said he's CIA. I've heard a lot of people say that. I don't know. If it were that easy to make viral songs, I think a lot more people would do it. Why do you think there's not more? And I know people will say like, oh, this person did that, but there's a lot of things that fall short. I shared that song when it came out. I liked it. Nobody told me to share it. I had family members share it. It just, I think it hit really hard. But once again, this is my opinion. So I'm not that like offended or anything. If people think he is a plant, I don't care. It's not like I'm going to cry about it or I'm like defending him. It is what it is. It's a song that blew up and, we'll see. Someone said he's got that Fed look to him. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I don't, let me see. Someone said it's better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in princes. Psalm 118. Masons lay the bricks, another brick in the wall. We'll see. Time will tell. Let's see. I don't even know what you're rambling on about, but you're still here, Sean, and that shows loyalty. Thank you for being here. Someone said it's not easy to be amazing with just your voice and guitar, add a catchy tune. That's why people like Neil Young and Bob Dylan, whoever notice. And here's the thing, like I am a critic of certain things. Like when it comes to politicians, I'm tough on politicians and people think I'm a hater, but these are public representatives. These are billionaires that are pretending to be working class people that are basically printing trillions of dollars. These people are not my family member at a barbecue. I hold them to higher standards than a Joe Rogan or a musician because these people are pushing policy. These people are getting into office and they have their thumb on the pulse. Everybody can feel what they want to feel. I don't really care. It's just when it comes to this guy in a song, I guess as a musician, I was impressed. I was impressed with the song. I thought it was really good. And as a musician, I know that it's not easy to make a hit song. It's not easy to go viral. It's not easy to make people want to share it. It's not easy to get streams. So if you are a musician, I think it should inspire you to make something better. You get what I'm saying? Someone said you're bought and paid for by the DNC, bro. Stop playing. Watch every one of my reports of all time and tell me how you even think that's possible. Why do you think I was against lockdowns before Trump? Why do you think I was warning about vaccine mandates in 2019? Why do you think I told Trump to open up and stop doing socialism for big pharma? Why do you think I took a more conservative and principled stance than the entire GOP in 2020? The DNC told me, like, that's stupid, but whatever. Let me see. Weird anomaly went viral so you could, I mean, people can think what they want, but in this age of the internet, there's so much opportunity. I don't know. As a musician myself, if I really hated the song, which I don't, I would just try to make a better one. But it's easier to complain about something than it is to make a better one. I can't relate to that world. I don't know. I mean, if people feel that way, that it is what it is. But I didn't like the news, right? I didn't like the media. I feel like this is my story. The media controls the minds of the masses. The media controls politics more than politicians. The media shifts culture. The media brainwashes the kids. The media brainwashes adults. I didn't like the media in my whole life, but especially in 2015 and 2016. I decided to create media. What did I want to do? I wanted better media, more authentic media, more honest media, more soulful media, calmer media, more reasonable media, media that's not based on fear, media that's not selling pharmaceuticals. And I did it. And I did it and I accomplished it. And yeah, I have an opinions and some people call me a hater about stuff and I don't really care. But long story short, I did what I said I was going to do. I set out to be better than the competition. And I think I was, and some people think I don't, but my results stand for themselves. I don't have a label. I don't have a corporation. I didn't have money. My parents didn't give me money in my 20s. I didn't have a car. I lived in a big city. I stood on the bus with gang members. You don't have to believe me, but I don't care. I know my story and I made this all happen from nothing. So when it comes to music, I'm also a musician. If I don't like the song, I don't have to like the song. There's plenty of songs. I don't like Doja Cat's new demonic satanic song. The beat's good, it's catchy, but it's evil. She's evil. Now, I don't know, that's like a little gimmick that she's doing, but long story short, I'm inspired by Oliver Anthony's song because I think, I'm like, I want to create a song that's so big and so powerful. You get what I'm saying? Like, if I think I could do better than it, then do better than it. If you think it's so easy to make a plant song, make a plant song. How come you can't? Because it's not that easy. But everyone's entitled to their opinion. You don't have to agree with me. That's my story, though. It's like I created something better in the field of what I wanted to do. And I think the world would be a better place if people did that. I don't think the music industry is that cool. So it's time for musicians to make cooler music. And I'm telling you, you don't have to believe me, but I'm telling you, there's an audience out there. There's a market out there. There's independent journalists getting more views than Don Lemon and Brian Stelter, if they even have jobs. I think they got fired. I don't know because I don't watch CNN. But you get what I'm like. This is the age of opportunity for people to break the matrix. Oliver Anthony broke the matrix, whether he's that person or that person. I've broken the matrix multiple times. You can break the matrix. I promise you. Why would I want to inspire you if everything's said? It's like, no, go home and get fat and don't do anything and you can never do it. It's like, no, there's so much opportunity now. Even if you hate everything you see, then make something better. That's what I did with media. That's what I'm attempting to do with music. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I hope that people do. Someone say Anomaly thinks the matrix is broken. Well, people can temporarily break it and get through it. And, I understand people's skepticism. It's the same reason I'm skeptical of politicians. We've been lied to so much. There's so many people that are fake and so many people that just like are placeholders in the movement. They come up and they pretend like they're your best friend. Then they sell you out. I'm not asking you to trust this guy. I'm not asking you to trust politicians. I don't care what people do. I have my own, there's certain things that I believe and people say I'm crazy. You should trust this person. You should believe this. And I'm the bad guy. I go with my instinct. I go with my gut. I go with my interpretation of stuff. And you should too. I'm not telling you not to. This is my opinion. It's my channel. I'm not begging people to agree with it. I'm not begging people to see eye to eye. That's how I see stuff. And, it's just, at the end of the day, I do believe in manifestation in the sense of, in order to be great, you have to believe you're great. And I'm not talking about ego necessarily. I'm talking about like self-esteem, right? How are you going to be the best fighter in the world if you don't believe in yourself? And some people will say, oh, everything's fake. There's some athletes that are authentic. If you're good enough at what you do, you can over jump the matrix. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that they can't stop you from doing. I know with my own life. I mean, I understand that people don't have to believe me, but like I've watched these things happen. I've been speaking to some of the greatest people in modern history at their craft, at their sport, at their profession. And it's all happened organically. It's because I believe in myself. Someone said I'm whining. It's hilarious. This is such an inspiring chat, and people are saying I'm whining, but whatever. I believe in myself. I've worked hard, and when you put out something, you gravitate people that are similar in certain ways. Where if you want to put out an authentic message, people that are not authentic are not going to like it, but people that are going to gravitate towards it. So I believe in this world. If you believe in yourself, if you work hard, and if you become great at what you do, you're going to attract greatness from others. It's just how it works. I don't feel like a victim in America. Yes, the Democrats are insane. Trump sells too many vaccines. Most media is completely co-opted. New media is just as stupid as Fox News, and they pretend like they're not, and they sell Trump earrings and stuff. I believe all that stuff, but at the same time, I don't feel like I'm a victim. I don't feel like I'm going to hide in a corner and say, wow, wow, I don't like Fox News. Wow, wow, I don't like CNN. This is the era of doing something about it. It's a beautiful thing. If you don't like my videos, make better ones. I hope you do. I mean, why wouldn't I want that? If it's good for people and it wakes people up to the scam of politics, etc., go do it. If there's something that I'm missing, you do it. But the thing is, a lot of people don't want to do that. But we're not in this victim era. That's why, to be fair, I don't like the MAGA movement anymore. And I'm not saying I don't like you or I don't like the people in it, but I don't like the energy of the MAGA movement, because the energy of the MAGA movement is a victim. Trump's the victim. He's the victim. He's the victim. He's the victim of the year that he sold America out. He's the victim of the year he did socialism. He's the victim of the year he signed the CARES Act. He didn't say anything about the COVID tyranny to like a strong extent until yesterday. He just put out a video now that we could have used in 2021 and 20. We will not comply. Where was that in 2021? I don't feel like he's the victim. And this MAGA movement's like a big victim movement. And what I'm preaching is not victim mentality. It's like, if you don't like the media or music and you don't like Oliver Anthony or you don't like me, go make something great. The world needs good artists. I mean, look at the art. They're like putting dildos in the middle of liberal cities, and they're calling it like abstract art. It's like, no, that's just a butt plug. It looks like Grimace from McDonald's. Like, that's not abstract art. It's like a humiliation. Michelangelo, that's art. The Colosseum, that's art. Putting a butt plug in the middle of Chicago or a city, or a George Floyd, Martin Luther King statue that looks like a butt, like, I don't know if you saw that one. It's like, that's not art. Well, I don't know what that is. It's like a humiliation, like degrading of society. So all I'm saying is, let's make a renaissance, create something great. If you don't see greatness in the world, people are want it really bad, because everything's so weird and fake and gross. So make great art, make great paintings, make great sculptures, make great music, make great content. People want that stuff. And there's never been a time where you could get past certain elements, it's a beautiful time. And then people will be like, oh, Anomaly's whining. This is the opposite of whining. Someone said, ever wonder why Anomaly never endorses anyone? Well, I'll tell you why I don't endorse politicians. I've been scammed too many times, and I've been duped too many times, that I don't want to endorse a politician. And when it comes to endorsing, I want to fully believe in what they're doing to a large extent. If it's someone like Ron DeSantis and I think he's better than Trump, I don't want to endorse him, because I don't endorse everything he does. I don't endorse every single movie he's made. I don't endorse the fact that donors are probably going to control him the same way they did Trump. So I'm trying to do journalism. I don't want to like hop on a campaign. When people hop on the MAGA campaign, they don't do good work anymore. When people hop on the DeSantis campaign, they're just like a megaphone for DeSantis. They're like little fanboys. That's okay. Everyone can do that. I don't want to do that. I don't feel inspired by anybody. I told people the politician I like the most is Thomas Massie. I like Thomas Massie. If he ran against someone else, maybe I'd endorse him, but I'm not like this egotistical person that thinks my opinion matters so much. I endorse DeSantis. I endorse Massie. I endorse Trump. I endorse, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I tell you what I think, but like, it's like saying I condemn Nick Fuentes. I condemn Louis Farrakhan. I condemn Al Sharpton. I condemn Ilhan Omar. Who cares what I think? Yeah, some people do, sure, but I'm not in the business of condemning or endorsing at this point. I would say I like Thomas Massie. Rand Paul is cool in some ways. Some ways I disagree with him. Those are two politicians that I like, Rand Paul, Thomas Massie. The rest of them, I don't know. I'm just not that impressed, to be honest. I don't really like anybody besides Thomas Massey. I'm sorry. I wish I did. I just don't. Musicians, there's a lot of musicians that I really like. I could name like 100 musicians that I like and I listen to. Am I endorsing them? What does that mean? Does that mean I have to take accountability for everything they've ever said or done? I like Outkast. I like Jackson 5. I like Hall & Oates. I like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, Smokey Robinson. But is that an endorsement? I don't think my opinion matters enough to like stand on a pedestal and tell people like that I'm behind them. I like DeSantis more than Trump. I think he'd be a better leader. I don't know if he has the personality or energy to beat Trump, so my opinion doesn't even matter. You know, and to be honest, I don't even care. What I care the most about Trump is that I want people to challenge him. If people don't challenge their politicians and they're just left versus right fighting on TikTok, then nothing matters. I like that people don't like DeSantis. It's not my favorite part about him, but it's good that people don't like him. It's good that people don't trust him. You shouldn't. The fact that everybody trusts Donald Trump, that's what makes him the worst candidate. He could like print trillions of dollars and they'll be like, oh, it's going to arrest the Vatican. But then when DeSantis does it, he's corrupt. If DeSantis, you get what I'm saying? It's like, it's a weird, the Republican Party is like useless at this point, in my opinion. But someone keeps calling me fat. That's fine. I don't really care. Someone said this guy is a Tim Pool impersonator. I mean, that's sad. If I was like a filet mignon, a perfectly cooked filet mignon, Tim Pool's like a leftover McDonald's sandwich that's been sitting in a pile of manure for 3 months. Don't compare what we're doing. It's not even close. Someone said Trump isn't the one who printed trillions. That was Crooked Joe. Thank you for providing exactly what I'm talking about. Trump did print trillions of dollars, but people are so obsessed with them. Do you not even know that happened? Look at how much money was printed before Joe Biden got there. It's crazy that that's like what politics does to people. It turns their mind into mush. And they're like, if my candidate does it, it never happened. But when other man does it, it happens. It's like, do you not get why Republicans are controlled opposition now? Trump could print trillions of dollars and people don't even know about it. But then when Biden does it, they know about it. It doesn't matter who does it. The same effect is going to happen. Whatever. I want to get back. Someone said you're not fat. Thank you. This is why I don't read comments at the beginning. Wasn't it nice for 30 minutes? Didn't we have a good time? Weren't we just vibing out, kind of energetically talking? And now this is the comment section. Appreciate you guys. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. I'm just going to wrap it up. I don't care if you like the song from Oliver Anthony. I don't care if you dislike the song. I don't care if you agree with me. I don't care if you disagree with me. I don't care if you want to put him on your iPod. I don't care if you never listen to him again. I don't care if you think he's a plant, and I don't care if you think he's authentic. I really don't. It's not like a gatekeeping thing that I care about. Just listen to me if you want. Don't listen to me if you don't want. I like the song. I think he's chill. I'm interested to see where his career goes, if he's going to capitalize off it or fall off. I'm interested to see if he stays authentic seeming or he just ends up on a stage with Lady Gaga selling Pfizer shots. You know, that you never know. So let's see what happens. Don't really care what people think. I like it. And I'll say, even if you don't like it, what I want to take away from it is the inspiration of it. Maybe you don't think it's possible. Maybe you don't believe in yourself. Maybe you don't believe that anyone could be successful in this world outside of the elites. That's a really depressing way to think. I know, like, you know, this even goes against what a lot of conservatives say. Like, this is the American dream. You can make a business. You really can. Yes, this country's corrupt. Yes, they tax you too much. Yes, it's not fair. Yes, you might have to swim upstream. Yes, you know, your TikTok might get banned like mine. Yes, they might take away your money. Yeah, but like, I don't know. I feel like it's a challenge. Bring it on. I don't feel like I'm a victim to this regime. Yes, they're doing too much. Yes, it's annoying. But at the same time, and this is just my interpretation of it, what I've created, no billionaire can create. They can't replicate what I've done. It doesn't matter if they own a pharmacy company. They're never going to be as respected by respectable people as I am. So I don't care how much they take from me. I don't care all the stupid stuff they've done for me. I'm happy and I'm genuinely appreciative of what I have. And you know, I don't look at the elites and think, oh, I want to be them. I want that power. I want that money. I wouldn't want to be them. I don't want that power. I don't want to live a miserable life. I don't think that it's rewarding to hurt other people. I think in this world, you know, giving a good energy, being a decent person, to me, that's like fulfilling. And I don't think that these billionaires and these elites and these politicians, I don't envy them in the slightest. You know, somebody's got to play that role. It's not a role I want to play. And I don't think we should look at them and feel envious or jealous of what they have or what they're doing, because you got to understand, if you are living an authentic life and you do appreciate what you have, and you are grateful for what you've been given, that's a certain power that they can't possess. And there's certain things that money can't buy. And I would say that respect, like, Bill Gates is not very well respected. He's got to put his comments off. People like Mark Zuckerberg, he's doing jujitsu. It's kind of cool, but you get what I'm saying? It's like, you can't make working class people like you. You can't be authentic if you're not authentic, and you can't buy people's respect on certain topics. So I feel like I don't look at these people like, oh, I feel oppressed. Oh, they're hurting me. I look at them and I'm like, I would never want to be that way. I'm so happy I've been able to achieve what I've been able to achieve and live the life I've been able to live. I feel beyond blessed to even get to this point and be here. And I think that it's that mindset that keeps the blessings flowing, because very quickly they can all stop. Things are not always good for me, and things aren't always good for anybody. I have up days. I feel like I'm on top of the world. And the next day I don't feel that great. So it's like, life comes in waves. You just got to take it as it is. And I hope that out of everything, people are inspired by this to just do something great or interesting. And there's a lot of opportunity for success. I've seen it myself. A lot of people have. And underrated is energy. Underrated is self-awareness. So if you're always looking at others and comparing, and you're always looking at others and being like, why don't I have that? You're never going to get that. You don't get it by doing that. You get it by living in the present moment, by being the change that you want to see, flowing like water. I truly believe that. And some don't believe it. But if you hone into what you're great at and you really make something special, people will appreciate it. And maybe not as many people as you want. Maybe it won't happen as quickly as you want, but these things will happen. I think the issue in this world is everybody's always, not wanting to put in that type of work. And it is what it is. I guess there's a market for everything. And the internet is like a toilet bowl of opinions. It's like, there's 10 million opinions at once. Everyone's got an opinion. Some are great, some aren't, and I'm just being honest. I don't overvalue mine. If I have facts for you, I give you facts. If I do a great piece of journalism, I do a great piece of journalism. I think if Vivek doesn't back out, I'm going to show people why I'm the best video journalist in this country. And that might sound cocky to some, but I believe in myself, and I'm not impressed with the competition, and I'm challenging other people to get better. I hope someone's better than me, because I don't see it out there. Even Tucker's giving him softball interviews. So it's like, there's a space in this world that you can do something. And if people aren't doing it, let it inspire you to do better. I hope you do. God bless you guys. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. Someone said your opinions are not in a toilet bowl. What I'm saying is, if I do great work, I do great work. If I give you facts and do a great presentation, it's great. If my video with Vivek is the best interview of the year, it's not. It is what it is. But my opinion, no, my opinion doesn't matter. My opinion is in the toilet bowl. I'm not acting like my opinion's better. If I give you an opinion about what music I like, or I don't care. You know what I'm saying? If I do a great piece of video journalism with 50 facts and I educate people, that's a little different than an opinion. You know what I'm saying? My opinion is like, I like that song. I don't like that song. I don't think my opinion matters. I don't think my opinion's more special than anyone else. I'm not begging anybody to listen to this. This is my opinion about Oliver Anthony. This is my inspiration. This is my interpretation of where he could go with his career. And take it or leave it. I legitimately don't care if people say I hate him, he sucks. I literally don't care. I'm not just saying that. I don't think my opinion matters that much. But when I do great work, I think what makes it great is it's beyond an opinion. I'm putting pieces together and trying to show people stuff. And that's where my value is. It's not necessarily like my opinion about whether I like this brand of orange juice or not, but whatever. God bless you guys. Appreciate you. Dream Rare Podcast. I had a great time. Have a beautiful week. I have a really special exclusive interview coming out tomorrow with somebody. I'll let you know tomorrow, but it's a pretty big deal. It has to do with lockdown restrictions and tyranny. I think you guys are going to really appreciate it. I know you will. So appreciate you guys. God bless you. Enjoy your day. And I've had a good time.